Hello YouTube, this is Deviation with another installment of my philosophical and theological videos. In this one I'll be reading a paper in which I examine changes within the Platonic Academy which took place during the 1st century BC. At this period the Academy was under control of a philosopher named Arcesilaus, and he formed the Middle Academy, as it is referred to, which was a skeptical, a skeptics academy. And this is a paper that I wrote in my philosophy course dealing with whether or not this idea of skepticism was in keeping with the Socratic ideals of the academy. If you would like a copy of the paper, which would of course include all footnotes and my bibliography, just message me and I will send you a copy. This paper is called A Socratic Skeptic. When Arcesilaus assumed control of Plato's academy, he promised to return the august school to its roots in the Socratic method. Arcesilaus' skeptic philosophy came to dominate the school, and he claimed this move was meant to realign Plato's academy more closely with the ideas of Plato's teacher, Socrates. Should one say, however, that Socrates was a skeptic? Whether or not Socrates was an academic skeptic should be obvious. In his Outlines of Pyrrhonism, Sextus Empiricus characterizes the academics as declaring, quote, that finding the truth is an impossibility. While Socrates had conceded that truth was elusive, from his optimistic appeal to the titular character at the end of Protagoras to continue their discussion until they, quote, clear it all up, one may surmise that Socrates does believe that truth can be reached through discussion. Therefore, he must believe that it is possible to find the truth, or his badgering of Protagoras would be futile. There is, however, another school of skepticism which Sextus Empiricus wrote far more on and subscribed to himself. Pyrrhonism does not say that the truth does not exist, but that, as for every argument and equal arguments are opposed, no conclusion should be drawn from philosophical deliberations, and that judgment should instead be suspended. While Socrates was always dedicated to considering multiple viewpoints to an issue in order to ascertain the truth, even going so far as to argue against the point he was trying to originally make, he did not seem to think that every argument would reach conflicting viewpoints. Socrates clearly states, for instance, his dogmatic belief in intellectualism and the theory of recollection. These suppositions were tenets of Socrates' philosophy, and he did not consider them debatable points, but held them in the highest regard. He did not suspend judgment, as an intellectual would, but came to conclusions about them. The claim that Socrates could not be an academic skeptic is just as useful in showing that he could not be a Pyrrhonist, as since he searches for a final answer, he must answer. As if he searches for a final answer, he must assume it can be reached without being negated by a conflicting, equally sound counterpoint. But perhaps the surest sign that Socrates is not a skeptic is his goal in philosophy. Sextus Empiricus says the Pyrrhonists strive to attain, quote, mental tranquility, a state, quote, undisturbed and calm. Learning, Sextus Empiricus said, stemmed from this pursuit, but it was found in the suspension of judgment. Socrates, on the other hand, doesn't seem to search for mental tranquility. When he insists that Protagoras finish debating with him, Socrates is obviously making the situation anything but tranquil. All of Socrates' career, in which he angered so many fine Athenian nobles, seemed to be opposed to creating tranquility and dedicated instead to spreading knowledge. He says during the trial for his life that it, quote, is the greatest good for man to discuss every day. For the skeptic, knowledge, and later the suspension of judgment, was an end to attain tranquility. For Socrates, the only end was knowledge itself. Thank you very much. I realize I read very quickly, so if this has piqued your interest, let me know, and I will send you a text copy, and you can read it over it, and we can talk about it or something. Thanks. Good day.